Margaret is our...
So we're gonna look at what the commissioners are doing. I was outside while this is going on, but apparently this is some Jerry Springer stuff going on here. I'm just gonna break this down as far as OLF-8 is concerned.
Has the contract changed, or are we in any violation?
You're dang right it's changed, Lumen. You're dang right.
So, I mean, what's your assessment of what they're saying in terms of what's changed?
There's a lot of apples and oranges because you have several different issues here. But if the issue specifically
there's
is the
several
purchase sale
issues.
agreement for the OLF-8 property, that contract is an active contract and it does not expire until February.
And it hadn't changed from the original contract.
Not since the board.
So what's the change that people keep referring to?
So I think the underlying issue here is as part of the due diligence.
Because he's trying to put a bunch of freaking apartment complexes on it. We were never supposed to have apartment complexes or that many residentials.
Changes to the different planning layers, including the future land use layer, the zoning layers, and the master plan. They were going to be pursuing amendments to those layers prior to them wishing to close on the sale. And that
so from the original contract, I just want, for the record, I mean, that nothing has changed. So
not since the board last voted on it.
In May, 2 months ago.
We amended it to reduce the acreage and the price.
Since last year, it's just completely different.
Madam Chair, may I make a comment? So here's the deal. When we originally got into this, we agreed to $42 million. And then they came back and this board agreed to cut out 171 and try to get TRAMP dollars. So we decreased the contract by $14 million. That's true. I mean, we did.
That's a change, yeah.
Agreed to it, and that's where we're at.
So it did change from the original.
The board voted on that.
Yeah, because Allison Rogers is half retarded.
Yeah. Did it change?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. But we haven't closed on it. They haven't closed on it yet. So we still maintain lots of control over that property.
Well, it's under
For
contract.
Now. Right. But they haven't closed on it. It still belongs to us.
That is true.
So we have obligations on it. I mean, there are clawbacks and all type of things saying that we own it. I mean, we have a sales agreement and a contract saying that we own it. All you're waiting for is a closing date, correct?
Correct. The current contract expires in February. There is 1 6-month extension that the buyer could choose to purchase, but
what are the penalties on both sides for not closing on the contract?
So their money went hard. We already have some of their hard dollars, correct?
Correct.
But if we didn't vote on it, I mean, there's
give it
what's the
back.
penalty for us?
Somebody said give it back. That's what I'm saying.
My advice to you is not to default on the contract before its expiration.
Because if we defaulted,
Then they can pursue legal remedies if we default before its expiration. You have agreed to process in good faith their requested land use changes. That does not mean that you're obligated to grant their request. You are obligated to process them in good faith.
Yeah, they're gonna grant it anyway. They grant everything that dude asked for.
I wasn't there, but I watched it. It was.
Every time he's come to him over the last year, they just said yes.
Presentation was outstanding. It was a good presentation. I do trust Melissa and I do trust Chad too. However, I also know that I had some questions. I got questions about it too. The flexibility they want.
Strogerberg's a good guy.
With them again.
Strogerberg's a good guy.
I guess it was earlier this week or last week.
He's like the only one on that whole bench that doesn't have David Baer
I've talked to
sitting in David Baer's pocket.
Design code architect about it. And in her opinion, none of the changes alone are a problem. It's all of the changes at once. So I have a problem with that too.
Yeah,
and I know that there were a couple of folks on the planning board.
He's a commissioner that has to deal with us, and he has to live out there.
At least 2 that were interviewed.
The other commissioners don't give a rat's ass.
So I think it needs to go back to the planning board.
Yeah, it does.
For their approval.
It does.
And not just go back to the planning board. I think I'm going to request that they look at each change line by line
and explain, and have the developer explain why each change is requested.
In fairness,
Heck yeah.
if I can, I'm sorry, board. In fairness to the buyer, they're not here because all you're
Who
supposed to
cares
be
if the
doing
buyer
tonight
isn't
is
here?
scheduling these public
He
hearings
could have
for
been here. It's a
August.
But it
public
can still go back
freaking
to the
meeting.
planning board.
He could have
That is
been
a
here.
vote that I
That's the
highly
thing is he
recommend
could
you
have been
not
here,
take
but he
until
chooses
the
not to.
actual scheduled public hearing time.
He better start showing up to his crap.
I would highly recommend you
But
not do a
we're,
vote.
we're
to do
also
that.
talking about a time crunch, right?
Yeah,
That's why I think we should probably send it there now.
So, Allison, I want to say what we're trying to do is schedule the public hearing so we can ask these questions.
This is
in a
about-
public forum.
This is
Correct.
about when I
And the
came
buyer can
in,
be here to
after I
represent
was outside for a
their
minute.
Perspective, and you've got other issues.
It was really
going on.
nice
These are not
outside. I
all-
just had to get some fresh air.
Oh,
It's
well,
stuffy in
what's the
that
legal position?
cathedral.
How
It's
can you
stuffy
say
in that
that?
cathedral.
It's black and white. Can he send it back legally, or
Legally.
can he not send it back?
So it helps to know specifically which planning layer you're talking about, but
People are
legally
about
they
to start
can all
hollering
be
and hooting
remanded
'cause
back
he's-
to the planning board, but I would recommend you
This
only do that
OLF-8 thing, man,
as a
is
vote of the
crazy.
board
I
at the
mean,
actual
personally, I
public
wish
hearing
they
for that
just
item.
pave a little walk path through it, like maybe dig a little lake,
My
plant some
recommendation to
trees,
you is to do it at
and
the
then
public
put some-
hearing on August the 6th.
put some
when they're
animals out there
actually
that'll
here
keep the
to
grass
represent
eaten down and
their
let people
side.
go walk.
Is this a-
You know, you can put some
That
goats
is
out there.
what
You
the
can put
planning board did. It forwarded
you can
it
put
to the
ducks
board for
out there, you can put
consideration. All you're
geese.
supposed to be doing tonight is scheduling the public hearing so that these issues can be discussed.
You
at
put
the public
you know
hearing.
all
That's the point
kinds
of
of
the
little
public hearing.
friendly
we
farm
overturn
animals
stuff all
out
the
there
time.
and let people
TPT,
jog
and
around.
Madam
And
Attorney, I completely understand what you're
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
but I'm concerned about one thing you shared with me
I
yesterday.
gotta remember, there's a population
We discussed that for the buyer, Chad Henderson,
that
Mr.
would
Wilson, the
abuse the
time frame
animals.
could put the county at risk. So if what Commissioner Stroberger's saying, why wouldn't we send it back if there's concerns earlier to try to get it right? And that's the only thing. And now look, if she says
Mike
we can
Kohler's
still do that
mostly a good
with the
guy too.
public hearing
I
and
disagree
have
with
the
him
time
on
so
some
that we
money
don't. I
stuff.
guess that's what I need to know.
He
Is
does
there even a
get
planning board
contributions
meeting
from
between
the
now and
who's
the
who
public
of
hearing?
developers, but mainly he's a good guy. He at least
No.
respects
No.
Okay, so then it
respects
doesn't
the
make a
Constitution.
difference. And I am very concerned about this not being in good faith, considering.
Yeah,
I'm under
I'm
the
concerned
impression
too,
that they didn't think
Hofberger.
they needed to be here tonight, and then we're questioning a
The
contract.
whole point of the public hearing is for you guys to vet the very issues that you're bringing up. So my recommendation to you is to vet these issues at the actual advertised public hearing date and time.
We don't
and
want to
you
get
would
to the
then be
public
able to
hearing because we
remand
don't
the
want the
appropriate item
chance
back to the
that
planning board
3
if
of these
that
yahoos
discussion
vote
warranted
yes.
it at that time.
And then once that happens, like it's out of our control. Like if this public hearing goes through and he gets the changes in the zoning he wants for those apartment complexes he's trying to put on there, it's done. It's over with. We don't get another say. So that's why everybody's scared to put this at a public hearing because you know Stroberger's in our Stroberger's in on our side,
It's just a
but
recommendation. I don't think there's anything keeping us.
I don't
from
know
doing
how,
that, setting it back
and I'm
to the
pretty
planning
sure
board.
Mike Kohler would
Well, I'm
vote
trying to get
with
clarification.
us
We don't have another
to
meeting
send
in
it back
August.
to the board at that
The-
hearing.
Next week is our next meeting. There's not a plan, right? Isn't it next week? Week after that. And there's not a planning board meeting until, I guess, the end of mid-August.
Hofberger,
So
I don't know
my
how she
concern-
would vote.
Steve, you
I don't
grab
know.
it for me. We gotta get out to development business.
Yeah,
We should
for
step
sure.
up and get- I mean, we cannot be, we cannot be.
We shouldn't have been in the development business to begin with. And Larry's the bald guy down there at the bottom right, he's gonna get up and say that thing. You shouldn't have done this to begin with.
And have a successful development. I mean, we should, quite frankly, my opinion, sell the land and get.
They
money
bought this
into it
thing to
and
bring
let
in
people
an
develop it, 'cause that's
industrial
what they do
park
every day.
or
So
some
I'm
kind of
not fighting the way to go.
manufacturing
I've always
jobs for the
supported
Beulah
the commissioner there.
residents, and
But we, at some
now it's
point,
turned
get
into
out
some
of this
town
development
center
business.
residential gigalopolis deal.
We're
And they
not-
got
we're
all
not
kinds of
developers.
language in there for data
Sure, we
centers
are
and
not
stuff, so
developers,
people are
But we've been asked to
real
oversee
worried
this
that they're gonna
development.
put a giant
And that means protecting
data
that
center out
property,
there.
so it has the vision that Beulah residents have been looking for. So,
I agree with you. I agree with you. Well, put the restrictions on it. Put the restrictions on it and sell it and get out. I mean, we
I agree with that too. Put the freaking restrictions on it, like one house per 4 acres,
I will follow
and then be done with it. We don't need a town center.
I don't agree with Larry Downs on much. Sell it, give it to the private sector, and let them develop it. And who cares how much money they make? As long as they do smart development, they follow the principles and the guidelines that your constituents that have said that in Beulah. I mean, keep all that in track. We can give them the parameters of how to develop it and let them develop it. I mean, we keep going back and forth. We can never develop it. It's just not our expertise.
Government should never be
So
in the
my other
development
concern
or
is
the
if we send
entertainment
it back
business.
to
They're
not-
also trying to
We haven't had the
do
opportunity.
this $200 million
to
civic
buyer
center
for
bill, and
clarifications
I'm
on things
fighting
we
that
don't understand.
claw too.
So we're sending it back without having those conversations.
I don't want to send it
Spear
back 'cause I don't
and
understand.
shield
I wanna
on
send it
that
back
one.
Because the planning board was unsure of their vote, so we should send it back.
Yeah, that's what I think. What happened was the planning board recommended the changes to the commission, but then a day later, two of the guys that voted yes, they turned around and said, "Oh, after looking and thinking about it, I'll probably vote no." And we're like, "Why don't you just vote no then? Just vote no then."
Same thing. We've only heard whether I.
This is Stephen. We call him Stephen Dingleberry. He's about as useless as a one-legged man at an ass-kicking contest.
They did spend 7 or 8 hours at the planning board. I presume that the applicant has.
I wasn't even surprised he was here. I was totally surprised he was here.
No matter whether that side is here this evening or not, the item on the agenda was to schedule a public hearing. If at the public hearing, we decided to remand it back to the planning board for X, Y, or Z issues, okay. But that's the appropriate setting to do it, not this evening.
Thank you, Commissioner Berry. Would you like to make a motion? Or-
Commissioner Berry, can I just make a comment? Because I agree with what you said, but at the same time, I think it's kind of unfair to Chad Anderson if we come here to August 6th to send it back, when we know we're going to send it back today, if that's really what the board's at.
It's less unfair than doing it when someone's not here. My opinion.
He could have been there. That's the thing, is he could have been
Please
there.
stop.
He knew.
That is your first warning. I will ask you to leave for the next conference.
Yeah, people get mad. People are getting mad over this OLF-8 thing because it's so.
But I've stated my opinion.
And you saw Allison Rogers earlier trying to gaslight everybody. Oh, there's no changes. There's no changes since we voted on it last 2 months ago. This is 3 years in the making.
It wasn't legal. We can do this. We can do this.
She certainly has not said that we can do it. She's recommended for us not to do it. And so if it's going to end us up in litigation.
All right. So long story short, because basically they all just start repeating themselves over and over again. Long story short here is that they voted to go ahead with the hearing, but everybody that was in the crowd that I talked to afterwards, they're all afraid that 3 of these bozos are gonna vote yes on it anyway at the public hearing and push it out and just push it forward without sending it back to the zoning commission, because it's nuts how this is playing out. It's all a bunch of good old boy flim-flamming shenanigan boondoggling. Yeah, so stay tuned next time. OLF-8.